Hey y'all, welcome back. It is me, Britt Reacts, and today we're gonna react to something that's got the internet in a tizzy, if you will. We're gonna talk about more of this on the other side, but this video is entitled "Inside Return to the Land" or RTTL, the group making a whites-only community in Arkansas. And then I'm going to follow up by also reacting to a community in Georgia called, I think it's called Freedom Land. And we're going to talk about it, all right? Let's see what everyone's so upset about. All right. Immediately a warning. There, y'all see it. You can read it. The warning is going. We're 5 seconds in.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be white making Nazi references.
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic
What did he
Nazi
say?
references.
land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be white making Nazi references.
Right.
Why are you making? Okay, got it. All right. How this came up. So, literally, this is how it happened here on the Brit Reacts channel. Yesterday, I reacted to some South Park clips, and there was a clip in there that reminded me of a clip that I saw on the internet this week about this. It was a quick, it was like a short, a reel, a TikTok, something like that. It was 30 seconds. There wasn't. It probably was just I recall seeing the clip of the three gentlemen walking, and he mentioning white American culture, and so I briefly said in my reaction to South Park that it reminded me about that. Now let me tell some of you guys something. Sometimes you guys will call yourselves out for your beliefs by being so triggered by something. And most people were only commenting about South Park because that was a South Park reaction. But there were a handful of people who were immediately on the defense about this community with me just bringing it up. And all I said was, have y'all seen the news about this community? And good for them. I don't want to go anywhere that I don't belong. So I guess they're doing me a favor by telling me it's for them, by them. Like, no harm, no foul over here. And immediately in my comments, you saw these people go on the defense and then immediately combat my comment of bringing it up in no judgmental way, immediately saying, well, why aren't people talking about the black community that did this in Georgia called Freedom Land? And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's just so interesting to me that people feel like they had to immediately defend something that I just simply brought up. So go watch that South Park reaction from last night. But yeah, listen, these are people, they own the land. This is what they've decided to do with the land. If they want to preserve their likeness, again, thank you for letting me know I'm not welcome there. I will be sure to never come there. Like, you know what I mean? I get the outrage, I get the hoopla, but in a country where we are allowed to have freedom of speech, I don't know what else people expect. I have also seen that the governor of Arkansas, I think, came out and said that he wouldn't stand for racism, which is interesting because I think Arkansas is known for kind of its antiquated race relations, if you will, in my opinion, just from my knowledge and things I've heard over my almost 4 decades of life. So it's just like the governor came out and said what he said about it, and I think it's being investigated, I guess, how legal or unlegal it is. But I can only speak for myself. I see something like this and I'm like, great, I know not to ever go there. I'm not wanted there. I don't want to be there. Nothing about that lifestyle even appeals to me. So like, live your best life. Like, whatever. But I can guarantee y'all this, whether you believe in heaven or not, heaven ain't gonna look like one color. Get what I said there? Whether you believe it or not, heaven doesn't look like one color of anything, one gender of anything. Heaven doesn't look like one of anything. So, I mean, do with that information what you will.
Invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A
Nazi
seemingly
references, it's
bucolic
crazy.
and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US.
Oh.
Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
But in this southern US state, people who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
It's also so interesting to me because I don't consider Arkansas to be in the South. Like, I don't know. I obviously I'm wrong, but like, I don't know why. I feel like it's like a Midwest state. Anywho, so a lot of the comments that I have seen on social media since this popped up is like, are they going to be incestuous? Is it, you know, like, are they, I mean, the lady said it. I don't know how much more sugarcoating I can do. I'm trying to just use my words wisely because y'all know I don't ever want to be divisive. But they don't want their bloodline polluted. She did not say that. I'm not quoting her and saying that, but that is my interpretation of it. And you see that a lot from a lot of races, if we could be honest. You'll see people say things about children who are biracial, and they're like, oh, well, there goes the black lineage. Or, you know, Asian people are like, you will only marry someone of your, you know, same ethnic background. Like, I think every race has a form of this. And again, I'm not excusing it. I'm just making it known that, like, do we not know this? Like, this is a thing that goes on. And again, in the United States of America, where there is the most amount of freedom to do the most amount of things that you want to do, I'm not sure why anyone is expecting this not to happen. Now, what I can say is the reference to the rhymes with Yahtzee situation. It then it goes, I think it bleeds into character and hate and I don't know. Again, I have no place there because that's not who I am. And if you're not that way either, then just turn the other eye. Turn the other eye. Turn the other way.
Hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful and you don't know who to trust.
Its founder says he is building a fortress for the white race.
It's a racial association. I kind of want to ask you, you know, after seeing this, do you think what we're doing is immoral?
Oh.
Arkansas, in the southern United States.
Welcome to Little Rock, where the local time is 4:27.
For the last few years, I've been exploring how an ethno-nationalist movement has been organising online. A network that aims to define countries by ethnicity, but which links across borders. And this is the place that one group has chosen to put that into radical, real-world action.
You want a white nation? Build a white town. It can be done, and we're doing it.
It is an extreme view, but it draws on more familiar arguments. That mass immigration is out of control, that Western societies are in danger of losing their fundamental character as a result.
So one of the arguments here is that this isn't about persecution of an ethnic identity, but protection of an ethnic identity, and that identity happens to be white. So we're going here now up into these pretty remote woods to really put that to the test.
All right, I'm gonna stop this right here and we're gonna hop into the video about the all black community, because if I can be 100% honest with you
driving
guys,
deep into the ocean.
sorry, I had no idea this existed, and I grew up in Georgia. I had no idea. So when people were like, well, why haven't you, I'm like, I can't react to or report on or give my opinion on something I knew didn't exist. And now that I know it exists, I am happy to educate myself more on it. I simply did not know. Here's what I will say. I did a little research. You guys know I don't do a lot of research because I try not to. I try to give a very honest first reaction. I saw that this was reported on in 2020. Allah, we were all on lockdown. And my only kind of thought on maybe why this didn't make big news like this all white community is because during the pandemic, we were all dealing with the pandemic. There was the whole George Floyd thing, the whole Me Too movement. It was like all these things were going on that maybe this got swept under like virality. It got swept under all of that. That's my thought. I don't know. Or maybe I just was under a rock. I've never heard of this. And I'm a black girl I'm born in New York, but I am absolutely raised in Georgia. So I'm literally catching a flight to Atlanta tomorrow. Like I had no idea. So, all right, let's watch a little bit of this and get some context. Oh, there you go.
We are the buying power. If we can just teach each other to circulate our dollars within the community, we will solve our own problems. We are literally the answer to our own problems, but we have to change our thinking and come together.
So what I just heard in that opening, which was very different from the agenda of the other community, is that this woman, if she's speaking for this community, is saying like, we do all this complaining, but we can solve our own problem. Like so often the black community wants to talk about how disenfranchised we are, how, we don't have this or we're dealing with that. And she's like, but we can solve our own problem. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It just seems like they're not trying to, or let me not say they're not trying to. It seems like the goals may be a little bit different for the communities, but that is just my initial reaction to what she just said. Again, their land, they bought it. They can do what they want with it, I suppose. 85 South.
My name is Brittnai Walters, and I am the president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I have a black husband. I have a black son. Every time he would leave out for work or just to go to the store or anything, I would have a sense of anxiety just from watching everything that we've been going through lately with the pandemic and watching our black men being murdered on national television in front of everybody. It kind of just all shook us by storm. It's now time for us to get our friends and family together and build for ourselves. That's the only way we'll be safe. That's the only way that this will work. We have to start bringing each other together. Well, we are looking to get amenities on the land. We want to have a place where you can have weddings, a nice retreat. We'll have tiny homes. We really just want you to come and hang out and feel safe. You don't have to worry about the Karens of the world and anything like that. You just come and have fun. We'll have a sportsman area with fishing, hunting, shooting range, ATV trails. We really just want to build a
Okay, to be clear, Karens come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, y'all. What I haven't heard her say is any exclusions. I hear her saying she's a black woman, she has a black family, and she feared for her family's safety due to all of the things that were going on, especially in the media during COVID. But I haven't heard this be an exclusion of anyone yet. She hasn't said that. It is 19 black families that got together to create the land, so I guess it is black because 19, the community is black because no one of other race background has wanted to purchase the land, but I haven't heard her say or inhabit the land, but I also haven't heard her say that's not allowed. So there's like 1 more minute left in this video. I'll let it play because I let the other one play for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds because I don't want anybody saying I didn't give equal I'm not here to watch the whole video and get the whole breakdown. I just wanted to start the conversation because it was started under my South Park reaction video, which is just so, it's really not bizarre to me when you think of the content of South Park. But anyway.
Tight-knit community for our people to just come and breathe together. I know they have a bad stigma that, oh, Black people can't come together, but just like how Black Wall Street, their dollar circulated around 11 times before it left the community. And that's just something we want to bring back. We want to encourage businesses to come, and we want to circulate our dollar within the community before it leaves out to someone else. We want to make everybody.
Okay, she said they want to encourage businesses to come. She didn't say Black businesses. And then she mentioned Black Wall Street, which I know a little bit about, and so I don't want to make anyone perceive that I know a ton about it. But what I do know is there was a community back in the times of segregation that was known as Black Wall Street. It was all Black businesses. It was booming. And from what I understand, it was burned down to the stakes by people who didn't want it to be there. And so again, this just sounds like someone who is saying like, okay, if Black people are going to feel like they can't make it and they have all these things against them, then let's stop being our own worst enemies and come together. Again, I'm not hearing any exclusion of other people. I'm just hearing uplifting of Black people. And two things can be true. You can uplift a group of people and not be excluding other people. And this is true about a lot of things. The whole Black Lives Matter movement, I think it initially started with good intent, where it was supposed to just be lifting up a group of people, but not putting down another group of people. It's the same thing about a lot of things. Two things can exist. And so that's what I hear here. And that's just my opinion. I'm sure I'm ruffling a lot of your uncomfortable feathers because you feel like if they can, then they can. They sure can. It's their land. Let them do what they want.
In our areas, wealthy. Well, every time we go to the land and in the actual cities, like we haven't received any backlash. Everyone is really nice and welcoming. It's the internet trolls, the negativity in the world, like,
and I'm sure the same is for the community in Arkansas.
Isn't this segregation? This is not what Martin Luther King stood for. And it's not us segregating ourselves. It's just we're building where we can come and be safe. Like Chinatown has these areas. You go up and down Buford Highway, you can't even read some of the signs because it's not in our language. And
Buford Highway, for those of you that don't know, is a predominantly Latino strip. Like a chunk of it in Atlanta is a majority Hispanic, Latino businesses and things like that. So that's what she was referencing. Again, Chinatown. And this is what I said. Every community has something like this that's like their own. And so, like if the community in Arkansas wants to preserve and make what is theirs for them. Now, I have no issue with that, but if we're going to be breeding hate and rhymes with Yahtzee idealism, then perhaps we should be at least questioning. But I digress. So I'm going to leave my comments open for discussion. I just hope and pray that you guys can keep it kind. Please express your thoughts, your opinions. But if you cannot do so with kindness, then I'm going to ask you to keep it cute, put it on mute, and find somebody else's comments to be ugly in, okay? All right. That's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you have the day you deserve. Bye.